welcome everyone. Myself Priyas Patel, and today we have with us Dr. Shivani Pandya, HOD of Department of Forensic Science, Parul Institute of Applied Science, Parul University, Vadodara, Gujarat. Actually, friends, I have completed my Bachelor's of Forensic Science at Department of Forensic Science, Parul University, under the guidance of Dr. Shivani Pandya, ma'am. Before I take more time, ma'am, please introduce yourself to our viewers.
Yeah, very good evening or good morning to everyone. Uh, Definitely, Shreyas, you have already said about me, so I'm not going to describe my designation again. But yes, I am working in this field since from 2018. So it is like more than 3 years I am associated with Paro University, and right now designated as a head and assistant professor as well. But my area of specialization is nanotechnology and forensic nanotechnology and medicine. So it is like a purely applied field right now I'm working on. So this is all about me, and if you want to know more, you can search me on Google and you can connect with me anytime.
Yes, ma'am. So, before I take more time, ma'am, I think we should start our conversation. So, ma'am, there are various definitions about forensic science written on Google and other social media platforms like Instagram pages, etc. There are very different from each other. So, please define forensic science in simple language in your words. What
Yeah,
is it?
definitely. Forensic science is having various definitions. If I am describing it in bit detail, then you can understand this is like that. Forensic, that means a forum, and science, that is uh, the forum which is convinced by the scientific evidences. That is what I understood, and that is what forensic science means also, because usually people around us, even me, when I were started to choose this field, I was bit attracted towards the detective series and serials that was going around, and I found myself into it, that I have chosen this subject. But it is not like that. People are thinking like investigating something by reaching to the scene and by collecting our own like interest of the evidences. It is not that simple. Everything over here, whatever we are pursuing, whatever we are proceeding, that all because just to support law enforcement. So we are known as forensic experts, or I can say forensic scientists, who can interpret it, who can give the testimony by the mean of physical evidences examination. So we are the people who are basically supporting the law enforcement to reach the conclusion by giving the testimony, whatever our evidence is speaking to us. Okay, so forensic science is the science that supports, that helps law enforcement. That is what forensic science means.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. So now, ma'am, please tell our viewers that need and scope of forensic science. What is the need of man forensic science?
Uh, yes, if you are asking about the need and scope, then yes, definitely. Because if it is needed, then and then only it will have some scope into it.
Yes.
So yes, definitely it is needed, because usually if you have seen few cases at the past, okay, those cases which are still unsolved because of the manipulation with the evidences at the crime scene, right? So it is like why it is needed to understand about the forensic science. It is like usually earlier what people are thinking, that we don't require. Look, according to the law, oral evidence is the most important evidence. Okay, that is the primary evidence. But in forensic science, we are considering that people or human can lie, but evidences, objects, they can't lie, right? Because it is attached with the scientific interpretation, and science never lies, right? Because we do have principles, we do have probabilities that are already well described, and they are researched and they are reproduced every day, day by day, year by year. So, for an example, if I'm talking about fingerprint science, it was described early in 220 BC. Okay, and definitely it was started before around 2000 years before Christ. So it was like it was used by the mean of personal identification, by showing some uniqueness, by showing some persistency, but people were not aware about its need, people were not aware about its importance. But now we are giving fingerprints, everything what are having means what we are possessing right now. It is like starting from mobile device that you are using with the laptops, and nowadays the innovations are coming up. Even if even those lock and keys now no more available, it is like fingerprint unlocking, right? So fingerprints are that much useful because it was needed, it is having some scope in security, and that is how this field came into the picture. Likewise, forensic science that basically deals with the scientific interpretation, scientific evidences. So it is a need of this era. Whatever people are saying that can be detectable if we do have instrumentation. Now, if I'm talking about instrumentation, for an example, lie detector, okay, that is innovation by the science, right? It is science and technology that invents how one can identify whether that person is lying or not. If I'm talking about identification and detection of latent prints, any prints, that is by the mean of various light sources or by enhancement techniques, that is also a innovation, and I can say a technology that is useful right now, right? If I'm talking about the other aspect, that is if I want to present my evidence into the court of law, one can deny, one can change the statement, but evidence, once whatever the result it is showing, it can't be changed. If I am saying that carbon is present in my compound, then definitely whatever instrument you will use, carbon will be present over there. So you can't, that evidence can't lie, because carbon is carbon itself. You can't change its molecular structure, you can't change its chemical formula, right? That is why forensic science is needed. You require to submit your you know scientific interpretation, and in such cases always forensic experts are useful. And that is why testimony is required. Even if court is considering the testimonial evidence as a primary evidence, that is why forensic expert are there into the picture. That is why they are needed. And if the need is over there, then definitely you are having lots of scope over there. Everybody requires interpreter, everybody requires identifier, everybody requires expert who can tell about what that particular evidence is speaking about, right? You not everybody can tell about that particular thing. If I'm talking about DNA fingerprinting, only the person who is having expertise in DNA fingerprinting can interpret those bands of DNA, what they are saying, either they are matched or not matched, either they are of the same ancestors or not. That is how cases are right now solved in more faster than the earlier. That is why people are into the need, and that is why right now even police inspectors in the means law enforcement and investigation uh, companies, they are giving the trainings to the I can say those persons who are basically investigators. Okay, and that is why forensic experts are there. Okay, they will guide them how to collect the evidences, what are the important evidences over there at the crime scene, and how we can protect our crime scene. That is the basic thing that forensic expert is only knowing about, but not everybody is implementing it. And that is why we have need, everybody is needed, because crime will never stop. It will come up either way. Okay, if you are stopping one side, it will come either way. And that is why every time if you want to identify, because forensic science basically right now it is in two different way. One that is a preventive forensic, another one that is the forensic that helps to solve the crime. That is how to identify it, right? Earlier it was just if crime happened, then how can I identify it? But nowadays people are thinking that way, how we can prevent to happen that crime, how we can forward with this technique. and that is why technology, that is why science, it is coming ahead than just to discuss about it. That is how scope is always there when our crime happens, and crime will never stop, scope will never end.
Yes, ma'am. So forensic science is an essential part of our criminal justice system. Am I right, ma'am?
Yes, definitely it is a part of it.
Yes, yes. So, ma'am, please give details about how to get admission in forensic science, which institute, university provide, which types of degrees, etc.
Uh, Now in India, there are multiple universities who are running these courses because now it is in the curriculum. Now it is affiliated with amateur, it is affiliated with UGC, and courses are available starting with the bachelor's in forensic science to the master's in forensic science to the PhD in forensic science. So we do have, now it is just a regular subject as other subjects. But what is more important over here is this subject, it is basically related with multiple lines. One that is a scientific knowledge, another one is saying that whatever scientific knowledge you are carrying, that needs to be implementable into the law enforcement agencies, it needs to be implementable into the industries and other areas. So that is why it is having a very, I can say a very much interest right now in these years, and starting with like 2015, people are more inclined towards the forensic science than the other subjects because it is fully applied subject, it is fully applied. So once you are into the forensic science, uh, it is definitely, you can't shift to bachelor's in forensic science to the bachelor's in biotechnology. It is widely different. It is, I can consider, with comparison to the forensic science, biotechnology is more pure subject. It is
Yes, ma'am.
focusing more towards the biology part. It is focusing more towards the I can say a molecular biology part. But what we are doing is we are basically implementing our basic knowledge of biology, chemistry, physics, mathematics to the forensic science, to crime investigation. So that is why you can shift like bachelor's forensic science to the master's biotechnology or master's microbiology or master's something else. Okay, that is pure. So we do have like right now in Gujarat, you can see that two universities right now running bachelor's course, Parul University and Bahauddin College. I'm not much aware about other colleges which are running bachelor's course, but if I'm talking about masters, then there are so many universities around us that are running masters in forensic science. Even after becoming a national forensic science university, there are specializations over there. Like you can go with the I can say MSc in food forensic, MSc in forensic psychology, MSc in digital forensics, MSc in homeland securities, and there are many more subjects that are coming nowadays. Yes, I have just recognized few more subjects like MSc in forensic engineering, MSc in forensic nanotechnology, forensic nursing, forensic accounting. I can't stop myself to say all the subjects, but yes, there are so many specializations that are going around. Now you will ask, ma'am, if I have BSc, particularly in, or I can say I have graduated with the BTech in engineering, particularly in the mechanical engineering. Could I able to choose MSc in forensic science? So definitely anybody who is having their graduation from the science, particularly from the science, they can choose this subject. Look, there is few, I can say there are few points that are still untouched by the people are thinking that forensic science is just an investigation, anybody can carry out it. But yes, I have mentioned earlier that it is just not the thing that you are investigating something, it is how you can interpret it by the mean of scientific methods. That is most important. So one should have the knowledge about the science and how they can implement that knowledge to solve the crime. That is our basic criteria. Okay, so anybody from the science background can choose this subject either in the bachelor's level or at the master's level. It is like you can shift your bachelor's to the forensic science anytime. Even if it's a BDS, you can go with the MSc odontology. Even if you are MBBS, you can go with the forensic medicine. And if you are choosing, like if you have I can say BSc in there is nephritis or I think BSc in dialysis, something. Those paramedical subjects are also going on around here, and few students from this background also have taken admission over here at our university in MSc Forensic Science. So it is like there is no limit when you are choosing this subject. So for MSc Forensic, you can choose lots of universities. Like you have options to choose universities around India and around globe. So many universities are running these courses, and out of few there are central universities which are running these courses. So you have more advantages in that. Like if you are choosing National Forensic Science Universities, that is a central university. If you are choosing MP Sagar, that's a central university. If you are choosing Rashtriya Raksha University, that's a central. So now central universities, which was earlier just to be made for the technology and science and social sciences, are running these courses. That's applied science, right? So it is like, now think that how much needed it is, and how many scopes are available over that people are running such courses around the globe. And again, I could not able to mention name of all those university. If you are searching over the internet by typing that courses in forensic science, you will get the list about all the universities, top 10 universities, top 10 colleges, and top 100 universities you will have in forensic science. So it is like, I could not able to mention it, but yes, there are so many universities and colleges right now that are running these courses. And one more very important part over here is, people are thinking that our course is not at the syllabus. When we are going with the competitive examinations over there, I have just asked by you only, right, Shreyas, that
Yes,
our
ma'am.
subject is not over there in forensic science. Means in the list of GSET, I think, Gujarat SET.
Yes, yes.
So it is like, yes, definitely. Forensic science, it is a growing branch. It is not well established branch that every subject or this subject is included everywhere. People are right now fighting to include or to get included the subject into the competitive examinations. So earlier, just before few months ahead, I have gone through the one group of ICFSL, like Indian Criminology and Forensic Science Association. So I am a member of it. So it was showing that in Kerala, they have included this subject, forensic science, into their curriculum, into their subject list. And though Gujarat is the first state who is having the university, means it is the first state who is running whole university in forensic science. We are moving forward with this, and we are looking forward with this, that this subject might be included into the future in this competitive examinations. But yes, definitely, whatever competitive examinations are going on around us, they are basically carrying, I can say, pure subjects, not the applied subjects. So whenever you will go through it, you will see chemistry, physics, biology, criminology, social sciences, Sanskrit, mathematics, okay, but not applied subjects. That is why it might possible that it is not over there, but it doesn't mean that you could not able to apply over there, because you are the person who knows science.
Yes.
Again, that's the thing that you can apply over there by choosing the subject that you are master of. If I'm the person and I want to go with the government examination, I can choose biology as my core subject, because I had my graduation in this and I had my master's in forensic science, but the specialization in forensic nanotechnology. So it is like I can choose either chemistry, either biology, like that. So yes, there are things that are still unsolved, and still it is look like there is no scope. Okay, people are always thinking that there is no scope, but what I believe is scope is something like that you can generate. It is not the thing that it is already available. Okay, scope is the thing that we can initiate, we can generate, and that will last long. So it is the thing that we need to focus on. It is the thing that how we can able to apply our knowledge in various fields. And that is why there are nowadays, every day there is a new field in forensic science. People are thinking why we could not able to apply this knowledge to this. Right now people are more inclined towards forensic psychology and cyber forensics, but earlier it was like people are more inclined toward fingerprint and document
Fingerprint.
analysis.
document.
Yes. So you will find that there are so many people around us who are having their specialization in fingerprint and document science.
Yeah.
But now, in future era, in after 5 years, you will see there are numbers of people who are having their master's degree in forensic psychology and cyber forensics. But yes, there are like multiple things going around. It is not like all the subjects have now no scope there, because there are so many people who are having fingerprint document. Then now it's a saturation. It is not like that. One can implement its knowledge everywhere, starting with the industries to education level to the private sectors to the government sector. So never ending scope is going on over here, and it
So
was
ma'am,
too much.
yeah, yes ma'am. तो मतलब कि anyone interested in forensic science from any science background in study forensic science.
Yes, anyone who is having their graduation in science, anybody who's having their 12th in science can choose this subject.
Yes ma'am. So ma'am, yes ma'am. So my next question is people watching a crime series, TV serials related forensic science and got inspired from them, like TV serials like CID, then TV series like Asur, and they take admission in forensic science. Is there any difference between them, or they both are similar?
Uh, what should I say? Because I have already taken my admission by watching CID only. Yes, it's a attraction. Not only CID. When I have I have seen Sherlock Holmes,
Yes.
the movies and series, and at that time I think in the 19 era, in 19s, there was a whole series of Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was like definitely it inspires us a lot, and definitely we are considering Sherlock Holmes, who is the imaginary character, as our like godfather, who in forensic science, right? Though it is not a original character, all people around us, even you and me and everybody in forensic science, are inspired by Sherlock Holmes. So definitely, it's a friction. It's a fiction, but the thing is, it is not like that. Whatever people are writing or whatever people are showing into the series and this crime serials and all, it is not baseless. Something is original over there. If look, if Sir Arthur Conan Doyle has not described about the identification of blood grouping from the dry blood stain, can people think about it? No, it is like no one can think that we can able to identify blood group by dry blood stains. Also, people are thinking that because it is dry, it will be denatured, right? If he has not mentioned about the chemical analysis of chemicals or some pesticides, then it might possible that they have not get idea why not to go with this. Let's try, although it's the imagination. So not everything is useless. Look, not everything is useless, but definitely we can't go in that direction. It is all dreamy, it is all imaginary, it is all virtual. One should know the reality that yes, you can choose your field by seeing such series because it inspires us a lot, but it is not the same. Make sure that whatever you are seeing, it's not always true. Few things are original and all the things are manipulative. Okay, out of out of whole thing, only 0.1% is original, but other percentage are like, I can consider it as not original. Okay, so yes, it is inspiring us, and that is why we have right now growing like anything. I think last year at our university we got, I don't know how much admissions, like we have maximum number of admission just in bachelor's. Just think why it was there, why it was happened. So what I am thinking is, I don't know whether it's true, whether it's not true, but what I am thinking is Sushant's suicide case. At that time, everything was on the forensics. What marks, ligature marks are seen, virtual autopsy, and people are talking about La Fascia impact on the face, and people are thinking it's a murder, it's a suicide, types of hanging. Everybody is looking towards that part. Even there are few interviews. People are asking about the interviews that, yeah, can you able to talk about the this case? Can you able to give your opinion on that? Look, we are the person physically dealing with the evidences which are in front of us, okay? And that we are analyzing. I can't say just by looking one picture that no, it was a murder, it was not a suicide. It is not like that. One should know that what is reality. Now, those punching signs over there onto the eyes, black eyes, it was seen in the movie, not movie, in the picture of Sushant, that his one eye was open and one eye was closed, and he has some, I think, some swelling over the eye, and I think other few symptoms are also over there. And people are thinking, hey, किसी ने punch मारा था. It was like someone has punched him, and that is why he died. Means before suicide, something was happened over there. But if the person who belongs to the forensic science, they will directly know about these symptoms. It's the intoxication that causes this. It's the intoxication that converts into these symptoms. So that is why one should have the knowledge, basic knowledge about the sign and symptoms, external appearances, and that can only be possible once you study this. So not everything like it is like Pradyuman is looking at the test tube which is colored of green, and is
Dr.
saying,
Salute.
yes, Dr. Shalukya, I just forgot his name, sorry. But Dr. Shalukya is just looking at the test tube having a pink color and that converts to the green and saying, oh, it's a pesticide. No, it is not like that. You can't do that. It's just a presumptive test. We need to go with confirmatory test and other analysis, and then we'll draw our report. Then we'll write our report. So that is the essential part. That is why I have said that few things, 0.1% it may be original, but other things are all fiction. So one should not follow this path if they are not very well known with the science. That is the basic criteria, and I am saying this to the everyone. Whenever one is over there at a university for the inquiry, I'm usually saying that if you are not hardworking, if you are not known with the science, and if you are not loving science as well, please don't choose this, because it is just not the thing that you are reading, and after reading this you can come up with the conclusion. It is everyday research. It is everyday challenge that you are facing when dealing with the case. It is not just a theory that you are you can read and you can write it about and having 9.0 CGPA. Okay, so that is what I meant by it is attractive but not truth.
Yes, sir. Ma'am, have you watched series Asur?
Yes, I have seen it is consisting with lots of facts.
Yes, ma'am. In that, the expert said that perfect crime doesn't exist.
Yes,
So, ma'am, what is
because
the
we
meaning
have
of
low
perfect
cards.
crime?
That it is because we have low cards.
Yes, yes.
Okay, in forensic science it is said that every contact leaves traces, right? So that is why even if you are breathing in this air, you are changing the atmosphere, and that is providing the information of your presence. That is why perfect crime is not possible. One is having lots of accuracy, one might have lots of precision while he or she is conducting crime, but something always left behind because they are present at that place, and that is why perfect crime never took place. One can say, okay, if for an example, if I am saying that I am changing my IP address, I am using satellite addresses to conduct a crime, some digital crime, so that one, because it's a very a dark web is over there, and there are lots of dynamic IP addresses are going on if it's a satellite and IR, I can say, frequencies we are using. Then one can detect what address has been used to conduct this crime, from which place, to whom, from which account. But the thing is, that crime was took place, right? At that time something was missing over there. If you could not able to track the IP address, something will be there. some very basic error might happen over that at that time. It might possible that someone has left some evidences at the laptop or at somewhere. So it is like you can say that I will escape from this place after conducting the crime, and I will never be caught by anyone. Even after the 26 years, 30 years, people will be identified, people will be caught by the investigating officer if they are sincere. So there is nothing like perfect crime over here in forensics.
So my next question is any difference between forensic science and crime science, which is criminal science, which is criminology?
Yes, that is the difference. So what difference is over there is, we are basically thinking that forensic science, it is itself a criminology, right? But forensic science, it is, I can say, a investigative approach, a scientific approach. But criminology, that is, I can say, a study of crime. Okay, forensic science, it's application. So that is the very very minute difference. People are thinking that forensic science and criminology are both same.
Yeah.
But whenever criminology comes into the picture, people who are working in criminology or who are having knowledge of criminology, they can only work about what theory can be implemented to understand the crime. Okay, it is just about theories to understand the crime. But forensic science deals with the application to know how that crime happened, how that crime occurred. So that's the basic difference between forensic and criminology.
यस यस। एंड आज की हम बात करें तो काफी लोग को सिर्फ साइबर सिक्योरिटी एंड साइबर फॉरेंसिक ही पसंद है कि हाँ हमें तो साइबर फॉरेंसिक ही करना है, साइबर सिक्योरिटी में ही जाना है। तो कुछ डिफरेंस है इसमें कुछ?
Yes, people are misunderstanding always, like all of us.
फ्रॉम मूवीज
But
एंड सीरीज एंड
yes, definitely. But yes, there is a vast difference when I am talking about cyber security, and if I'm talking about cyber forensic, it is not similar. Yes, words look similar, cyber security and cyber forensic. But here you must need to know, cyber security is the field which basically deals with the security of the system, security of the web, that how one can able to protect theft, protect digital evidence or whatever in the digital form. But cyber forensics comes into the picture when crime took place, cyber
Yeah.
crime took place. It is not dealing with the prevention or a protection, it is dealing with the identification and detection that how that crime took place over there. So cybersecurity people can have their job into the IT sectors, that it is working on firewall and they are working on some security features and they are working on some database, that how we can protect those database from that theft. But when cyber forensic person will arrive, it is basically dealing with the legal acts, that how that crime took place, how I can retrieve my data if that data was missing, how I can able to identify the location of that person, or how I can able to identify the cyber theft. So that is a very basic difference between it. And yes, definitely there are many more things, that is a detection method is different for both of this thing. Okay, and a protection method is also different for both of the thing, and retrieval method is also different if I'm talking about cyber security and cyber forensics. And job opportunities, definitely there are very much different. Okay,
yes.
one is dealing with the legal things, another is dealing with the security things.
So ma'am, can we say cyber security as a preventive forensics or not?
Forensics means you are searching, or you are like dealing with some legal aspects. Like we are supporting something which is legal, okay, and we are providing them a support, scientific support if it's a science. So cyber security, it can consider, but definitely it is not a preventive forensic. Means yes, it is a part of it, but definitely it will carry some difference in the preventive forensics and the forensic that is going on around. uh, but I should be like think again about it. I am bit puzzled when you have asked this question. Definitely it should carry some similarity, it might should carry some difference in it.
Yes, ma'am. Because preventive forensics is all about prevention of crimes, and cybersecurity also deals with how to secure our cyberspace, cyber account, online accounts, etc.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, some people are think that forensic personnel work like detectives. So, is there any difference between them?
Well, definitely there is a very big difference between detective and investigators. You know, if I'm talking about investigating officer or investigator, it means they are having some motive. It is like investigator can work on anything. If it is like a missing person case, if it is like a missing pen case, if it is like a, you know, my wife is having some affair with someone else, it is like that. So everything that investigator is working on. But detective, that is a high profile thing, you know. It is like detective only came into the picture when something that is not authentic and that is illegal is going around. Okay, and that is why it is like you have seen that there are private detective agencies, right? But still in India you'll find that detective agencies are also working in the same manner. But yes, definitely there is a vast difference if I am talking about detectives and investigators, because detective is an investigator who may belongs to the police forces or maybe an employee of a private detective firm, and he may even be an ordinary private person having abilities to solve the cases. So it is like uh, you can consider him as an official person. Detective is a higher ranked in the police, I can say, hierarchical ladder in some countries as well. So you will have like they are undercover detectives. They are detective at our police station. If you have seen, you know, Hollywood series or some Korean series, then you will find that detective, that means something considering as the higher ranked person. So in UK, in order to become a detective, a police officer has to face examinations. So it is not that easy. But if I'm talking about, you know, investigator, then investigator is the person who looks into some kind of puzzling on criminal matter. It is more like an, you know, like a detective investigator, but it is like a private one, having not much importance into the police academy, I can say. So that is a basic difference in the detective and the investigator.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, my next question is about theory and practical in forensic science. So, what you think? What is more important in forensic science, theory or practical knowledge?
From my end, I can say both are very much important. People
Yes.
are misjudging this thing that theory is not important. You know, even few teachers are also saying, you know, theory is
Yes.
not that important. You need to have a practical knowledge, or else you'll not get job. Definitely, if you don't have a practical knowledge, then definitely you could not able to work, and you might lose your job because of this, because of the insufficient knowledge you are carrying with you. But how you can perform practical? That is the basic question. How you can perform it? Without theoretical knowledge, are you able to perform it? No, no one
No.
can perform without the theory knowledge. And even how to held or how to hold the test tube, that is also theoretically described. Okay,
Yes.
so you must need to use your index finger and thumb to hold the test tube. That is also described theoretically, but that is applicable practically as well. So difference is only that first you are studying something, and then after whatever you have studied, that you are going to implement practically. So practically what happened, that scenario in front of you is different than the theory. It is like once your mother is describing how to make a tea. In that she has described you how to take, you know, half cup of water and half cup of milk and 1 spoon of tea and 1 spoon of, yeah, I think sugar. But it is not practically implementable, because one might having sugar problem and they don't need 1 spoon of sugar. It is the same in forensic science as well. If you do have knowledge about the identification of any physical evidence, but it is not applicable every time in the same manner, it might possible that because of the nature of evidence you need to change your technique. And that is why theory is just a basic standard that provides you information about how to work, and practical is the thing in forensic science that you can change according to the nature of evidence. So both things are very much important. If you don't know what is the principle of your instrument, then you could not able to interpret it whatever data you are having with you. That is the difference. So you can differentiate theory and practical at different stage. Okay, but yes, people are thinking that practical knowledge is more important than theory knowledge. But if you are thinking logically, you'll come to know this, that after gaining theory knowledge, it will be easy to work practically.
Okay, ma'am. Basically, the reason behind the question is the people said that बस हमको तो theory ही पढ़ा है, practical तो करवा ही नहीं है.
But if you are not even know about the theory, how could you able to go at the lab and work for practicals?
Yes, yes.
That is the part. Yes, definitely. Look, when you're reaching to the lab, everything is different that is described over. That is not described over that how lab will be look like. It is not that you will have one room over that you will have one table in front of you will have a bottle in which one is carrying with the HNO3 and another is carrying KNO3. So it is not written over theoretically. You need to go over there, you need to reach to that place, you need to observe all your lab, and then after you'll come to know what is over there and what is required for your analysis. That is the practical knowledge. Okay, but if you are not known to it, what is HNO3 and what is KNO3, then how could you able to analyze? That is the question.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, as we studied, there are various divisions and departments under forensic science laboratories like cyber division, biology division, chemistry, and lots of many more. So, all the divisions have same scope as of now and in future, or some of has high scope, more scope.
Look, if I'm talking about forensic biology, forensic chemistry, forensic physics, right now government is recruiting the person who specialized with it, right? Person who is having bachelor's or master's or PhD in physics and chemistry or biology. But what lacks over there? That is the training. That is the perspective how to analyze and how to implement your physics knowledge into the forensic science. So every subject has the scope. I'm not saying that one is having higher scope than the another one, because every field requires expertise, every field requires experts over there. Some are from belongs to the pure background, some belongs to the I can say applied background. But it is like it's a like I can say what society require at the time. Like right now people are required forensic psychologist than the forensic biologist, because because everybody right now they are now tired, they are having I can say a negativity inside their mind because of this pandemic situation. It might possible crime rate is also increased, and in such cases if someone is appeared with the criminal behavior, if some crime conducted by the mean of insanity, then what is means who will be over there? Then definitely forensic psychologist will be there, or I can say a forensic psychiatrist will be there. So it is the requirement of the time. It is nothing like that forensic physics will have a scope but forensic biology will not have a scope. All subjects will have scope, but that depends on the time.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, this is a very useful information. And basically, my next question is there any difference between the theory you teach your student in college versus the analysis performed in FSL?
Definitely, there is a vast difference because whenever you are reaching to the FSL, they are basically NABL accredited labs, right? So they are following standard procedures. And if you want to pursue a standard procedure, you must have your lab with the NABL accreditation because they requires a very high quality chemicals. So in laboratories, we are using lab range, lab grade chemicals. Over there, when they just don't want a zero error because they are dealing with the cases, the live cases, and they can't afford a single error over there. They can procure the things which are having a high quality. But in laboratories, we are not using high qualities. We are demonstrating how one can, go with the practicals. What chemicals are useful? What method you can use over there when you are reaching to the FSL, and what results you can find and how you can interpret it and how you can write your report. That is what you are learning over here in universities. It is all about academic purpose, right? If you are moving ahead, if you are going ahead with the research, then also definitely you are pursuing your research, and definitely you just don't want a error over there, and it is equal to the you are working at lab, as it also carries some precision over there. But the thing is, definitely there is a difference while you are working at laboratory and when you are performing your practicals at academic level. Everything that changes over there. And I hope like our student, like you also have pursued your I can say training over there, right, during interval times, and you have felt that there is a vast difference with what we are learned over the university and what is going on at the lab, right? That is secret also, that is different also, and it is not comparable.
यस मैम। नहीं मैम, क्योंकि सब बोलते हैं कि यहाँ एफएसएल में तो सिर्फ अलग ही प्रोटोकॉल्स है, ऐसे तो थियरी में पढ़ा है नहीं और थियरी की कुछ जरूरत भी नहीं है, एफएसएल में तो अलग से प्रोटोकॉल दिए उसको ही फॉलो करना है।
यस डेफिनेटली, मैंने भी ये कहीं बार सुना है कि फॉर एन एग्जांपल इफ आई एम कंडक्टिंग इंटरव्यूज, सो फ्यू फैकल्टीज आर सेइंग why I want to pursue this, why I want to go for the academics. It is because I want to teach my students what is actually going on into the laboratory. But one can't pursue this once you are into the field of academics. You will your own felt the same thing that no, not everything could be taught to the students. Not everything that is equal to the laboratory we can teach students. It is definitely a different than the laboratory because they are experts and we are forming experts. That is the vast difference over there, right? And definitely one can say that we don't require theory because everything is different over there. But I think nowadays even I have used manual which is being used in DFS and FSL to learn what practicals are going on and how we can carry out various methods to identify chemicals or pesticides or poisons. Okay, it is for the if it is for the toxicology, if it is for the biology or serology, the whole manual is over there which we are learning. So I don't think so that there is some issue with theory, issue with practicals that are going on in universities that differs with the laboratory. If you are feeling so, that means you are not well aware about what is going on at your university. That is what I felt so.
यस मैम, काफी लोगों का ऐसा होता है कि जब वो लैब में गए तो वो बोलते हैं कि डीएनए एनालिसिस करना है, तो लैब से वहाँ पे साइंटिफिक ऑफिसर बोलते हैं कि डीएनए एनालिसिस इज वेरी रेयर एंड एक किट की कुछ हम बात करें तो 25 से 30 हजार होती है। पर सब कॉलेज में तो सब ऐसे ही बोलते हैं कि हाँ बायोलॉजी डिवीजन है, सीरोलॉजी डिवीजन, तो वहाँ पे डीएनए एनालिसिस ही होता है।
No, it is not like that. Definitely. Look, DNA fingerprinting, that is a most important evidence, most important, I can say, analysis that can connect someone with the crime. Okay, that is, I can say, that's a direct evidence. Okay, so definitely, if the case is at that critical condition, for an example, if it's a maternity paternity case, even in maternity paternity case, people are not going with the DNA profiling. If you have read few news, okay, not everyone can go with the DNA fingerprinting or DNA analysis. It is not that easy to carry out all those things. They required ethical permission. They undergoes various permissions and consents, and then after you can pursue everything. So whenever something that is connected with the human, that is connected with the, I can say, live person, everything that is now becoming legal. It is not that easy that I have taken out my blood and going for DNA analysis because I want to go for it. It is not that easy. And definitely, forensic biology and serology is not just only DNA. It is consisting with so many more things. It is consisting with STR analysis, also consisting with the genetic analysis, it is also consisting with, I can say, hair analysis, body fluid analysis. There are many more things that are going on over there. Okay, that is antigen antibody analysis. I can consider like immunoassays are over there. So how one can say that if it is forensic biology or serology, then we are pursuing DNA analysis? No, it is not. It's a very different thing, and it's very important how we can pursue DNA analysis. That to know, that is the important task.
It's because of CID.
Yeah, it is because whatever evidence we got from the crime scene, we are going for DNA analysis. We are
Yes.
going for test tube analysis. It is not
And
that
when,
easy.
and when there is a new concept of touch DNA also.
Yes. There are like, earlier DNA, definitely everybody who belongs to the biology, they know that we can extract DNA from the nucleated cells, right? But what is touch DNA? That is important over here. We are nowadays able to extract DNA just by a trace of, I can say, sweat, trace of, or contact. I can say it's a contact DNA also it is known as, and trace DNA also it is known as. So it is like it is in the very trace amount. Is I can consider it as a nanogram amount that one can extract. But yet we have lots of high performance technology with us, advanced technology with us, that we can amplify our DNA. It is all because of this RT-PCR that we can able to amplify it, and now it becomes a quantity, and then after we can pursue whatever we want to pursue. And that is a touch DNA is like whatever evidence, even if it's just a trace of your trace of your biological evidence, I can able to extract DNA over from that. So touch DNA.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, this is my last question. I want to know that what is the job scope, job opportunities in the field of forensic science in private sector, in government sector?
Yes, look, if you want to become like me, there is always a scope. Being an academician, I can say that we are working on both of the things, that how we can able to give the knowledge of forensic science to the students, as well as we are also pursuing the R&D, that is research and development. So nowadays it is like a collaboration of government and private detective agencies. They are collaborate with the academics so that they can come up with the solution whatever they are facing, whatever problems they are facing right now, because they don't have that much time to work on R&D, because they are basically dealing with the crime cases, they are basically dealing with the live cases, so they don't able to work on or go on with the trial and error. They need to perform analysis. It must be in time, or else you might lose your evidence if it is fragile in nature. Okay, so they can't go with the R&D, and that part comes to the academics, R&D. Okay, so that is one thing that you can go with, and that is the people right now. I think there are millions and billions of people working in this area. They are pursuing their PhD, they are pursuing postdoctorates, they are pursuing their, I can say, research in this area. Side by side, they are also going with the theoretical part, academics. Other thing, that is a government. So you can go with CBI, you can go with IB, you can go with FSLs. That is every FSL means FSL, DFS, or CFSL. Anything, anywhere you can go. And as nowadays forensic science is the subject in all this competitive exam, you can appear into that examination without hesitation, and definitely you can able to crack it because you have studied those subjects for 3 years, for 5 years if it is a master, right? But yes, nowadays they are coming up with BSc in forensic science, particularly specialized in biology, BSc in forensic science, particularly specialized in chemistry. So that is upgradation. and that is how academics will also work. Upgradation will be there over time. But thing is, it doesn't mean that you don't have scope. Definitely there is one subject that is graduation equivalent to all these subjects. Okay, there is
Yeah.
one more line they have written over there, equivalent to all the subjects, so you can appear over there. And other than that, we can also go with the private sectors like industries and banking sectors, and I can consider like food and drug administrative sectors like food identification, food adulterants identification. Other than that, we can also pursue our own consultancy, like we can work as a private investigator. No, I am not saying about industry, private expert. So yes, we can go with this also. So we do have multiple options with us in our life if we are pursuing this course, that we can go with the government sectors. For an example, in all these things, like you can also go with the UPSC and
Yeah.
all those competitive examinations, IBC, BI, CID, and this laboratories, and I think state selection committee, SSC, uh,
SS,
right?
SSCCL examination.
So it is like you can appear over there. If you don't want to go with this, you can go with the private industries anywhere. Even if it's a pharma industry, you are eligible over there. If it's a chemical industry, you are eligible over there. If it's a textile industry, you are eligible over there. If it's a Coca-Cola industry, then also you are
Yeah.
eligible over there. Like there is no never-ending thing over there, because they just require person who can analyze the thing, who can observe the thing, who can come up with the interpretation what is going on around that. Other than then, we can also work as a private audit person who can go with the regular audit. That is a very good aspect, because every company requires some audit every
Yeah.
time, and
Right.
they'll come up with the quality, that what quality they are having, and if they are not reaching to that particular part, it might possible they'll be banned like that. So yes, you can go with the auditing also. And yes, definitely you can go with the account auditing, that is forensic accounting, if someone has pursued this course. And definitely it is like private part that I have already mentioned. One can go with the document analysis, fingerprint analysis, and one can also establish their own laboratory, like for the forensic toxicology, forensic biology, and then they can start freelancing over there. Right, so it's a very nowadays people more are inclined toward that freelancing, because they are earning a lot of thing going around. One wants to settle down the case, one wants to detect, or one wants to investigate the case. Everything is happening. So we are the person who can step into the any of this direction.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. As you told that freelancing and private laboratories, these all are acceptable in court of law or not?
Yes, because this course is also acceptable according to the Indian Evidence Act Section 45. We can work as an expert, because we do have a sufficient knowledge to draw a report, to give a statement, and that is why it is always acceptable. But yes, one needs to go with the legal procedures, whatever required to register your name under the freelancing, and everything, that stamp and everything that is required. That is the other part. Once you want to go with the freelancing, you can inquire about it, what to do and what not to do. So that is the other part, but we are eligible for that. No one can stop us to work as a freelancer.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you so much for your information and giving your valuable time to us. I am thankful to
Definitely,
you, ma'am.
Shreyash. Definitely, I'm always available for students, and it is like, it is just a guidance that needs to be provided by the forensic person, because when I was there, when you were there, at the same time, although the difference was there, time difference was there, people are talking the same, that there is no scope of forensic science, and I could not able to understand why they are saying so, that there is no scope of forensic science. It is like, if I'm the person who is having a varieties of background under me, behind me, it is like other field, every time I choose other field, bachelor's, masters, MPhil, PhD, but yet I'm working in this area, and still I can able to find the scope. Then why you could not able to find the scope? That is the question. It is just you could not able to observe what is going on, or you are not that capable to generate your scope, or what is that means, what is a basic problem behind it. That is, I can say this is still a mystery, and forensic expert can work on this. We can work on the scope, I think.
Yes, ma'am. Okay,
So
ma'am.
thank you so much, Shreyas.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. It was like, definitely whatever I have mentioned, that is depending on to my knowledge. One can have a controversy with this, that the another part. But from my end, I can say that we can pursue whatever we have inside our mind. So there is no limitation. There is always a scope for every field, not only the forensic. It is about the every field. Everybody is having similar scope. You just need to grab it. Just need to be present at the time of opportunity. You need to be opportunistic when the scope is over there. And if you are not able to reach to that scope, you need to generate your own scope at that place particularly. So that is what my concept is to life, and I hope that everybody will feel the same, and they might reach their, I can say, dream. So
Yes.
all the best to all of them, and all the best to you too also. uh, I hope now we can end over here.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. And I will share your email ID in the description box. So anyone who has any doubt can contact you.
Definitely, I
Related
don't mind.
admission.
I'll be pleased to guide them.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you to you too. Bye.